Hi everyone. So today I'm going to be setting up an A-line transducer kit, step by step of what you would do when you're at the bedside. Obviously I'm not in a patient's room or anything like that, but we'll just go through the steps of it all. So first of all, you want to gather all your supplies when they say that they are going to insert the line. So that would be a pressure bag, whatever appropriate size of normal saline is for that pressure bag. So it would either be a 500 or 1,000. Here we use the 1,000 ones for the pressure bag, so you'll grab a 1,000 cc bag of normal saline. If they're inserting the line, then you'll have to do the arterial line kit here. And then if they want the dart, then it would be this one, okay? So you need both of these, and these are in the supply room. This is in the supply room, this is in the med room. And then you'll need your single transducer kit, which I already opened up so you can't see the packaging, but it's just the one with the single transducer instead of the swans, where it has the 3 different transducers. You'll need a CHG dressing kit for insertion after they put the line in. And then you will need a transducer clip. These are above the monitors on the back wall of the unit, and then a single transducer cable, which is the red cable here, and this is above the monitors as well on the back of the unit. Let's see, you would also need to gather the sterile gloves for whatever size the provider wears, and then the sutures are already in this kit here, so you wouldn't need to grab any of those. So when you go in the room, you set up all the supplies, open everything up. The provider should have the ultrasound as well, so they're inserting the line. They're looking for the artery, all that, just get everything set up on your end. So the first thing that you will do is open up this. I would obviously have gloves on, try to keep it as sterile as possible. And so the first thing that you do is burp the bag. So burping the bag is getting the air out of this bag, because you see how much, this is a brand new bag of saline, you see how much air is in it. You don't want this to be pressurized by the pressure bag and air going into the patient when it gets to the end of this bag. So the process for it is called burping the bag to get the little bit of air out of this, and then we'll spike it again and get it hanging on the pressure bag. So what you do for that is you take off the little blue end, and then you take off this cap and you actually puncture the bag just enough to where it breaks the seal, and then you kind of squeeze it down. You see where you just push it against this hard surface and get the air out all the way to the end of the little spout there, and then you re-spike it again. And so that, you see there's no air in it now at the top of it, so when it's pressurized in with this pressure bag, air will not get to the patient because there's none in the line. It will just not put anything into them. So once you do that, you can put the saline bag inside of the pressure bag here, and there is a little hook at the top of it right here, where you can just hook the saline in. And I'm just going to hang this on our pole. This is literally my least favorite part of nursing, pumping up this bag. So you want to make sure that on this little pressure bag dial thing here, you have red color, you have the green color, and then the white. So you want it in the green. You don't want to have it pumped up too much to where it's in the red. The green is the 300 millimeters of mercury pressure point, and so that's where we want it pumped up to. That helps keep the line patent, so if you lose the pressure in it, mainly on like swans and stuff, not as much A-lines that it can clot off just because it's as more pressurized with the A-lines. But you want to, it can affect your waveform, and so you want to keep it pumped up as much as possible to keep it patent. And so with this pressure, it drips like 3 or 4 drops into the patient every hour through the A-line. And so then I always turn the little stopcock up to the bag, because if you have it facing out, it will leak air out faster, so you'll end up having to pump it up more throughout your shift. So just make sure that you turn the stopcock up to the bag. The next thing that we are going to do, now that all of that is connected and pressurized, is detangle our tubing. So this is the actual transducer part, and so you will insert this into the red slot on your clip, and this clip, whoops, gotta detach, 1 second, it's not tight. You always want to make sure that your lines are secure. So you would clip this here. So this would be at the level of the phlebostatic axis on the patient. You always want to make sure that's at that level because your pressure readings will not be accurate if it's too high or too low. It always needs to be the phlebostatic axis. So we're going to say that this is where that is on the patient. So to prime the bag, you pull this little blue tab here. You can't see it too well, but it's right on the transducer. So you pull that until saline primes the entire thing. You can see it shooting out. And so the whole thing is primed. You want to make sure that there are no air bubbles in it, because that can affect your waveform as well, affect your pressure reading, et cetera, et cetera. So this is all primed and ready to go. The next thing that you want to do is set up the monitor for it. So we'll attach the cable on, and I'm going to turn on our little portable monitor here and attach it on. So this was the red cable that I showed you earlier. It's just a red single one here. The Swan one is different, so it would have multiple lumens or multiple ports on it. And I'm just going to detangle it as much as possible. I'm going to just attach this into the red port here. So it pops up how it normally would, and then you see it here, the ART2 there, it says 0 BP, so we know that we need to zero the ART line, but I'm just going to attach this first. So this part goes to the white cable that hangs down below the transducer, and it just plugs right in. Just going to set this above so it's not in the way. See how tangled it all gets. So to zero the line, we want to go off to the patient. So if you have it set up this way, we have the hard, smaller tubing facing up, and so this part would attach onto the patient, like radially, femorally, axillary, wherever it is, brachial, wherever the A-line is. So this would attach on. This is the hard, thinner tubing. So that's the patient side. And then the pressure bag side is the more squishy, bigger tubing that's dropping down below and hooking up to our pressure bag here. So to zero the A-line, you will turn the stopcock up and off to the patient tubing, and you'll take this cap off. If you have it accidentally turned down to the saline bag, you'll start to see blood coming here, and it will shoot out at you because this is if it's attached to the patient, it's going to be pressurized with their blood pressure. So blood will come and shoot out that way. So make sure it's off to the patient, and take this cap off because we want to zero it to atmospheric pressure because the cable's attached to the monitor, coming through here, attaching here, and where this is the line where we are zeroing it. So you're going to scroll to ART2, and then we'll do 0 ART, and 0 over 0 with a map of 0. So that's when you know that it is appropriately zeroed. So then you will take a new blue cap. We replace every time you take a cap off, replace it. It's the same thing. You wouldn't put an orange cap back on a central line or IV tubing, just new ones every time. And so attach it back on, and then turn the stopcock back out this way. So then you're transducing through the line. We are obviously not going to have a waveform because it's not attached to a real patient, but that's how you zero the line. That's how you set it up. You do want to have all of this set up and ready before the provider is finished inserting the line, because once they have that catheter in, they would just have to hold pressure on the artery until you're finished setting it up, because once the line's in, it's open, and so they need to have this ready to attach on whenever they are ready with the insertion, and then you'll have the CHG dressing to put on it. I will have in the bedside book, there is a step-by-step instructions typed out, and then it also has the areas where all the supplies are and what you need for it. So take a look at that while you're inserting the lines as well, and reach out to me if you have any questions. Thank you.